Hello there and welcome to this Lego tank review video. Today I'm actually going to be showing you one of my first actual sets that I've made myself. This is the Japanese Type 95 Rogo made out of Lego, as you can see. And before we dive into the set, let's actually talk about the history of this vehicle real quick. If you don't know what this tank is, it's the Japanese Type 95 Rogo. It's a heavy tank built during the interwar period, so this is like between World War One and World War Two. Now, what we're looking at is a very simple heavy tank design, actually. It's based on something the Germans were building around that time, actually. The Japanese didn't really know what to do, so they looked at other vehicles. Even the Renault FT1, I might have screwed that name up, but like the first tanks were actually basing off of that. What we're looking at here is a multi-turreted tank design. So it has a main turret right here on the top through 360 degrees of rotation. This one actually in real life had a 70mm Type 94 cannon. Now it's more of a howitzer than a cannon at this point. It fired like basic armor-piercing shells and heat shells, so it was more based to fight infantry than anything else. On the front we have another turret. This one has a 37mm Type 94 gun. So the main gun and the secondary guns do share the same name. It's a Type 94 gun, but one's a 70mm howitzer, one is a 37mm gun. If we're actually looking at the historical part, the 37 was going to be used more against tanks than anything else, and the main gun was more like for supporting the infantry. On the rear, we have another turret. This one actually had a machine gun. And when we're looking at the machine guns, it's a bit weird on this vehicle. I think when we look at multiple sources, they say that it has 6.5mm machine guns, but other sources say that it has a 7.7mm machine gun. So I think it just comes down to when the vehicle was first built, it had a small machine gun in the rear, but then later on in its career, it was like, well, we can upgun it, let's put a bigger machine gun in it. So that's kind of the historical part of this vehicle out of the way. Let's actually dive into the set itself. Now, before we do anything about the Lego things, I must point out one thing, and those are the tracks. You can probably see that these are not Lego standard tracks. I've actually got some Lego tracks right here. These are the most common tracks you're going to find on Lego sets. So we've got the one stud wide. This is just one, well, stud wide, like the name says. Lego tracks. You find these on a couple of Technic sets or certain other small little vehicles. But the thing is, when I was building this tank, I wanted a certain width for the tracks. And when you have these small tracks, it is not, it's not it. It doesn't really give it a proper tank feel. Now these are also Lego tracks. These are 3 studs wide, but these were then too big for this Lego set. So I decided to use BRICKmania track links. And here I got some extra spares actually. So these are the 1.5 stud wide BRICKmania track links. Now I emailed them saying, hey, I want to publish this tank set of mine. Is it fine if it includes your guys' tracks? And they said it's completely fine as long as I just give them a proper mention. So you can get these tracks on the BRICKmania website or one of their other resellers. Because BRICKmania themselves are stationed in the US, but they also have resellers in Europe, Asia, so you can get your hands on these tracks. They really, really they just look awesome on the tanks like this, and also run very smoothly, as you can see. Now, the set itself, it's a total of 435 parts, so you're looking at an alright sized kit, if you ask me. The vehicle itself is 21.5 centimeters long, or 8.5 inches. It's 9.1 centimeters wide, or 3.6 inches, and it's 8.3 centimeters high, or 3.3 inches. Now the vehicle itself, well, the play function, let's actually dive into that first. So on the outside, we've got, of course, details like the bushes, the additional parts here on the side. And we have 2 hatches. So we've got one hatch right here on the front for the driver. I'm going to just open that one right up. You can actually get a minifigure right into here, and then, well, yeah, you've got yourself a nice little driver in your tank. Just make sure you don't whack him in the face with the main gun. Also on the top of the turret, we have another hatch. This one, will be honest, not the easiest to open up, but it does look quite nice on top of the turret. Same thing, you can get the guy right in there. Then you actually have yourself a nice little commander on the tank. And when it comes to the main turret, or the main gun I should say, it does elevate up and down a small little bit, and the turret does rotate all the way around. For the main turrets, I was sadly not able to get any sort of up and down movement into it. I had to make these turrets rather compact to make them actually look good for the set itself. I must say I've done the best I can to make them look nice, but yeah, they cannot move up and down, sadly. Same goes for the machine gun turret. These turrets are basically identical to each other. Now next up, what we can do is actually remove these turrets. I did show it on the small one right now. As you can see, they're just placed on a couple of Lego turntables, nothing too special there. If we actually grab this, let's actually remove these bushes first, because they'll fall off too. Like, one thing you do get on this set, these bushes placed around the sides, but here on as well, right here on the back, they tend to fall off easy, but those are about the only parts that really fall off quickly, like these ones as well. They're just there for detail. We can actually grab this and completely remove it. And now we actually get into the interior. We can also grab this one right here and get that off. So here we can see the interior of the vehicle. It has a little engine, just a small little thingy with an exhaust pipe going out. And when it comes to these parts, actually, when I look at these parts, they kind of remind me of a ammunition storage. So when you have them in here, I just imagine the tank crew grabbing shells and putting them in those little holes. So that's why I've got those in there. I think they look nice. There's also the same one on the other side. Because remember, you have two different guns here. We've got the main gun and we've got the secondary gun, so they've got to have ammunition for all of those. Actually, one other thing we can do when you have this structure up here, we can actually pop this one out. And we can also remove the engine deck, why not? Now we can just put that right back on there. Let's also grab the front. Now we actually have a more enclosed sort of play function for the vehicle itself. Of course, you can also just get yourself a minifigure. Now, of course, I cannot get the turret and the main things back on, but you can play around a little bit. And also, when you look at the exhaust pipe, it goes right into this brick, and then the sort of imaginary goes onto this side, to the rear exhaust of the vehicle. Now, of course, we can just get everything right back on there. There you go. So there we go, everything's back on. Like I said in the beginning, 435 parts. I live in the Netherlands, and as you did a quick little check, if you want to buy all the parts included for this set, this does not include the track links, keep that in mind, you have to get those for BRICKmania. But just the parts alone, I was looking at around 53.55 euros, so that's about $58. But that usually does not include shipping. The shipping tends to just go on top of that. So when you look at this tank, I'd say it's somewhere around 60, 70 euros. So when it comes to dollars, it's about the same, $75, I think. Now these track links for BRICKmania, you can buy a total of 150. They're packed in 150 parts each for, I think it was 30 euros. So when we're looking at this tank, if you want to get all the parts and all the track links, you're looking at around 100 euros. It might be a bit expensive to the people that just want to get a casual little set, and it's mainly because of these track links, but I really do think that these track links really finish off the vehicle. They look awesome, they run smoothly, so I think this is just a nice little collector edition. If you already have vehicles from BRICKmania themselves, I think this is a wonderful little vehicle to have for the collection as well. Now the tank itself might be a bit unique to Type 95 Rogo. I don't think a lot of people would have known about this vehicle, but it's nice to shine some extra light on these special Japanese heavy tanks. Well, actually, before we finish off this video, I'll actually show you the instruction manual, because you can buy that on ReBrickable. So yeah, I'm just going to be showing the instruction manual so you actually know what you're buying. I think that's always nice to do. Alright, so here we are behind the PC now, looking at the PDF file that you'll be buying if you want to get your hands on this vehicle. So first page, we just have some, well, a nice little render of the vehicle itself. Also, I tend to use my real name when it comes to publishing these models. So my account name, Supercharacter, my real name, Kevin Jansen. The second page just gets some general history of the vehicle. Also, again, a shout out to the BRICKmania track links where you can get your hands on these. Now the file itself, very simple. It's pretty much when you buy a Lego set. You see the pieces, you see the building instructions. When you get further, the parts you're actually adding onto that in that step will be highlighted in red, just like this. It's right around 100 steps actually for making this vehicle. When I was making this, I tried to not have too many parts in one step, because I tend to do that myself. When it comes to publishing this online, you want to be able that the people actually still understand it, so you don't want to give them too much. Where's the actual vehicle? Here are the small turrets. Large turrets. The turrets will be built in the end, so here you go. This is why I don't want one of the last steps ending in the bushes and the side plates. Also at the end, you of course have the parts list with the codes and all the coloring, so you can check yourself. Also the Brickmania track links, I added those in myself. One sad thing actually, the last step. The software I use for making these sets, which is Studio 2.0, it does not include the Brickmania track link, so I could not have the nice little renders that you see here. So just 2 photos that I'll have to do, 134 tracks, just like I said. So yeah, that's a quick little showcase of what you're actually going to buy. Again, if you're going to buy a product of a tank, I want to make sure that you sort of know what you're getting your hands on. You don't want to be like, well, you don't want to buy something and then figure out that the instructions are just terrible. So here you go. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you're actually going to buy this tank, well, thank you very much. It's really nice that you're actually interested in my vehicles. Also, one last thing, I have set up a Patreon account. After making these, I have another huge Lego project, another super heavy tank actually. When I was making these, I thought, you know, I can actually start up a Patreon, see if people actually want to support me. So if you do want to support me, link will be in the description below. Make sure you go check it out. You really don't have to give me a lot of money. This is something, the first tier was, I think, about €5. That's more than enough. I can't thank you enough if you actually want to do that. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day. When it comes to this, well, usually people say like the video, subscribe, yada yada yada. Sure, you can like the video, but subscribing, I really don't know what I'm gonna do with this YouTube account. I might make further Lego videos in the future, but honestly, it's just a bunch of random posts. So stay tuned for the Lego stuff, I suppose, but don't really, well, you know, do what you want. I hope you're all having a nice day, and I'll see you later.